Welcome everyone to this Privacy Rules, Privacy Espresso, and today I'm joined by Denitsa Kozhuharova, Head of Human Rights Department at Law and Internet Foundation, and we are going to speak together with her about a project that is the FORMOBILE project. But I would like to ask more about this to Denitsa. So Denitsa, why don't you introduce a bit yourself, the foundation and the FORMOBILE project, what is?
Great. Good morning, and thank you, Alessandro, for this invitation and the opportunity to speak a little bit more about our work with Law and Internet Foundation, but also with the FORMOBILE project. So I'm Denitsa Kozhuharova. I'm a lawyer with a 5-year experience in the area of privacy, data protection, but also digital rights in general. And at the Law and Internet Foundation, we work in the intersection and the balance between fundamental rights on the one hand, on the other hand, we work towards public security. So where do these both meet and how to strike the right balance between these both very sensitive subjects by themselves. And within the FORMOBILE project, we take the lens of mobile forensics and we apply to this project and we apply to this issue actually. And the project is quite interesting. It works on 3 main streamlines. It works on setting the groundwork for a standard in mobile forensics, working on tools, enhancing what is already out there, enhancing already the status quo. And then we work also on providing trainings to all interested parties who could potentially use these tools. So we are having 3 main pillars which address more or less the same issues: how to enhance the level of mobile forensics that is currently available. And within this very complex playground, our team, supported by Timelex from Belgium, we work towards, first of all, outlining the requirements from legal, but also from ethical perspective as to how the project as such should develop, because at the end of the day, this is a research project. But on the second level, we are looking in terms of how the existing legal rules actually provide for the use of mobile forensics. And if there are some need, on the one hand, to tweak the tools, but also if we identify some room for improvement also in the legislative framework as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Dennis. And given this experience and your experience, thanks also to all these studies you are doing together also with Timelex, I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion on the evolution of cyber crimes and crimes in general associated with the use of technology and the web?
Mm-hmm. Well, if we go back in time, like 10 or 15 years ago, we would imagine cybercrime as something that is extremely complex, something that we see actually in the movies, like lines of running code. We associate it with hacking, with attacks, etc., etc. But reality is that just like our everyday life has changed so much with the upsurge of technology, and now we cannot imagine our everyday life without the phone. The same is applicable also to criminals. So now even the most mundane types of crime do include some kind of cyber or element within them. So it is highly possible that even in a theft case, the investigator would need to search the phone of the suspects or potentially the phone of the victims in order to find some traces, in order to find some evidence there that they could use in the court. So actually, I would say that electronic evidence and mobile evidence has become even more pertinent in criminal procedure than it was before. And apparently this process won't stop. It is going to be only further developed. And this is why it's important to take a very deep look into the issues that are related with the use of electronic evidence, and in our case, from the FORMOBILE perspective, mobile evidence.
Okay, perfect. That's really interesting. And then we are also speaking today because we as Privacy Rules are launching the report of the joint webinar we have been doing with the FORMOBILE project and also Timelex. And the question I would like to make to you in this regard is why institutions and companies should be aware of the intricacies of digital forensic?
Well, at the beginning of, in this view, digital forensics or computer forensics were only associated with extracting information only from the device, right? Because we didn't have so much developed infrastructure when it comes to cloud or data services. And at the moment, more and more of us rely on such services in order to store our information, or our communication is actually placed there. So even if we don't realize it, in the course of a pending investigation, there might be a need for the law enforcement authorities or the investigator to actually access information that is in the cloud, or actually require the assistance of a private company that may very well be out of the borders, out of the jurisdiction itself. So it's important to first take into account that these kind of crimes, first of all, include most of the time some kind of a cross-border element. So it's important to be really aware in terms of what are the rules to access lawfully this information. And on the other hand, it is extremely important also to bring the report to the attention of in-house lawyers who potentially deal with these issues on the service provider side, because sometimes they could be met with requirements, or they could be met with requests that simply do not fulfill all the necessary criteria for them to be implemented. So it's important, I believe, that this report could be highly interesting, both from investigators' point of view, but also from in-house lawyers' point of view. I think it has very important insights to them. And last but not least, I would like to draw the attention to colleagues from the defense, but also colleagues from the court, because one of the main ingredients to the right to fair trial is the equality of arms. Is the basic understanding in terms of what is the methodology, what is the scientific method that was observed and that has been followed, so that we are ending up with this or that piece of evidence. So to this point of view, I think that the report could be interesting to colleagues from all different areas that are one way or another involved with mobile forensics, even if they don't necessarily realize it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And speaking about your last point and the future developments, my last question was related also to exactly to these. So how do you see this complex subject to develop, in particular after the protocol second to the Council of Europe Cybercrime Convention?
Yeah, that's very, very interesting that you bring it up, because this additional protocol has a dedicated provisions that deal with privacy and data protection. And this is extremely important because the Cybercrime Convention, I believe, is the Council of Europe's convention with the most outreach on a global level. So interesting to see how the rules that we are more or less used to within Europe are now being extended globally. So to me, this is actually good news, although there are some critics from civil society towards the text. I think it is super important that we have them there, that there are some rules, for example, with regards to processing of sensitive data, with regards to maintaining of records, with regards to transparency, with regards to that we call in Europe data subject rights. I think it's highly important that these pieces, that these provisions are put there, and to a degree that we can all, as data subjects, enjoy an equal standard when our personal information is being processed or transferred within a pending criminal investigation. I think this it acts as another guarantee to us if we are in the position of an accused or suspected person. And I think it is super important on a global level in order to maintain or even to elevate the existing rule of law.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Denitsa. And we ran out of our time, but I would like to thanks again for this very clear explanation on what was the project, which can be the future development, and what you are doing now and what has been done so far. So thanks again for joining us, and I would like to thank all our listeners in the live and in the recording, and to see you all very, very soon again, in particular next Thursday with the next Privacy Espresso. Thank you everyone, and see you very soon, and stay safe. Bye everyone.